life happens and outcomes occur that we don't understand or know or we don't want. When I lost over $100 million and went bankrupt, when I had to walk to my mom's house to tell her I was bankrupt, but the only reason I wanted to be rich was to buy her that house. So I lost her house in my bankruptcy because at the time, I even told my mom, why am I being punished? Why would he do this to me? And my mom said, oh, son, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God. Since 1981, Justin has been producing world-class Bordeaux-style wines from Paso Robles on California's Central Coast. As the pioneer of Paso, Justin wines are what put Paso Robles on the winemaking map. The Justin team believes that wine should be exceptional from every angle, which is why their team uses boutique winemaking practices like hand harvesting and hand sorting. With a rich history of accolades, Justin produces exceptional wines and is proud to be America's #1 luxury Cabernet. Whether you're the first-time wine drinker or a wine aficionado, Justin has a wine for every celebration and occasion. Visit justinwine.com and enter promo code Playbook20 for 20% off your order. Justin offers the perfect holiday gifts for clients, colleagues, friends, or family. Be sure to check them out at justinwine.com to receive 20% off your order for a limited time and use the promo code Playbook20.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Well, how could I not come on a show aligned with my mission of empowering over 1 billion people to be happy? So any time that I can spend with the happy hour was certainly synergistic and supplemental to the efforts that I'm putting into the world to help create an abundant mindset, heart set, and handset to make people happy.
And I love that. And we're going to talk about the 1 billion number. So I'm glad you brought that up. I have hot conversations with my guests, HOT, which stands for honest, open, and transparent. So in the name of transparency, I need to tell this to our audience. Dave and I have just met right now. You're seeing this. But we were supposed to meet 10 days ago. That was the original interview. But Murphy's Law was in full swing. And technology-wise, I mean, 4 things had to go wrong simultaneously for the interview not to happen. And they did. So, I'm the happiness doctor, but I wasn't very happy when that happened because, both David and I are in the waiting room, waiting and waiting. And, sometimes things just don't work out. And, I'm talking to the crew. I'm like, listen, this is David Meltzer. Do you know how hard it is to get this guy? We may not even, who knows if we're going to get him for season 1. And this is what happened because the value of a human being is not when the bright lights are on and we're on stage, right? And we're performing. It's what happens behind the scenes that nobody really knows. So behind the scenes, even though we all panicked and they were very apologetic, to Nick and obviously to you, David, and I'm like, guys, I don't even know when we're going to see him again. And he booked it within a week. So I personally want to thank you, David, for your generosity of spirit and your kindness for second chances. And I want to talk about second chances in life. You've been to the mountaintop repeatedly, but it hasn't always been a smooth ride. So can you tell us a little bit about your story in essence? Because it's a remarkable story.
Yeah, my story is of 3 worlds of divine direction, divine detour, and divine timing. I was born in the world of not enough. Like many people, I thought I was a victim. I was born into a tremendous family, but I had a single mom. My dad left when I was 5. My mom was a second grade teacher who, when we got home from school, packed our dinners into a paper bag and drove us around to convenience stores, filling up greeting cards just so we could eat, and somehow still utilized our food stamps to buy pencils for her second grade class. And I loved my childhood, but I definitely was a victim. Every time there was a problem, it was only one type of problem, a financial one. That was the only type of problem we could overcome. And so at a very young age, I lived in the world of not enough. And I decided that I was going to have enough so I could buy my mom anything that she wanted, a house, a car, whatever she desired, since that was the only time I'd catch my mom crying because of the dishwasher or the car or not being able to go to summer camp or all the other things that face so many people today economically. And so I learned work ethic from my mom. My mom, I have a saying still today. My mom's 81. I tell my mom all the
God
time, you
bless
know,
her.
mom, yeah, I call her every day, by the way, and I tell her that I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I love and appreciate her. But I also tell her that I don't listen to her. And I said, I've never listened to you, and I don't listen to you, but I watch you,
Oh, wow.
and I get choked up because thank God I watched her. And
You know,
that's
David, it's that speaks to my heart because my favorite saying in the world is Ralph Waldo Emerson years, obviously said the following. He said, "Your actions speak so loudly, I cannot hear a word you're saying." Isn't that
yeah,
beautiful? And
that
that's what
was
you're
my
doing with
mom.
your mom. Beautiful.
Yeah. And so I learned to enjoy the consistent everyday, persistent without quit pursuit of my own potential for other people. And I ended up going to law school, not listening to my mom. I took a job in the internet instead of being a real lawyer. She actually made me take the bar because she told me I took a job in the internet. She told me the internet was a fad and it would never last in 1992. So I didn't listen to her. Um, but I ended up being a millionaire 9 months out of law school. And then 3 years later, we exited for $3.4 billion. I tell people that I entered a world of just enough for me. As an optimist, everything was for me. When I had divine detours in my life, I looked at it as for me. No longer was I a victim and, wanting to have things I didn't have. But for me, that was a disappointment because I ended up getting everything that I wanted. And I thought that money was the reason that I got everything that I wanted. But like everyone else, as I was worth over $100 million with three daughters, healthy and happy under 10, and I married my dream girl that I met in the fourth grade and didn't even like me until I was 26. I had everything I could dream of. And if I didn't have it, I'd buy it. I said, I bought things I didn't need to impress people I didn't like.
Wow.
That was the world of just enough. But like I said, the divine detour,
Can you explain
I
what that
had,
is to our folks? What do you mean when you say divine detour? What does that mean
yeah,
exactly?
well, life happens life happens and outcomes occur that we don't understand or know or we don't want. So
Okay.
most people see those outcomes as punishment. So when I lost over $100 million and went bankrupt, when I had to walk to my mom's house to tell her I was bankrupt, but not only bankrupt, but the only reason I wanted to be rich was to buy her that house. I did not take my name off of her title. So I lost her house in my bankruptcy
Oh no.
and she had to move. That is a divine detour because at the time, I even told my mom, why am I being punished? I've done everything for you. All I wanted to do was help people. Why am I being punished? Why me? And I said, I can't even believe in God. Why would he do this to me? And my mom said, oh, son, wasn't even upset she had to move. She said, son, you believe in God. You just believe in the wrong God. And that divine
Ouch.
detour, yeah, that
You
divine
listened to your
detour
mom
led
then,
my
I'm sure.
yeah. So that divine detour given by my mom, my dad, my best friend, and most importantly, my wife, that were the only four people brave enough to tell me the truth,
Hmm.
led me over the last 16 years to not only make more money than I ever have, but to help more people than I ever have and to have more happiness than I've ever had. I went from living in the world of not enough to the world of just enough. And now I live in the world of more than enough, of everything for everyone, where everything comes through me for a reason and a purpose greater than the pain, greater than the divine detours, creating a divine direction and divine time to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and this to me, I've read that over and over again, and I've been replaying it in my mind. Those three sentences and it resonates so much with me, David. Of course, being Greek, I have maybe a different order a little bit. I'm like have a lot of fun, help a lot of people, and then make a lot of money.
Well, this is common, but I will tell you this from experience. All the religious, philosophical, theoretical, scientific text, they actually say the more you give, the more you're given.
Right.
And in order to give more, you have to receive more. In order to receive more, you have to ask for more. So for me, I purposefully, because I grew up like you, I like to have a lot of fun, help a lot of people, and make a lot of money. But I have found that if you make a lot of money first, it's a lot easier to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun.
That's true. You know who taught me that, David? I mean, I was young, maybe 30, 35 years ago. It was the first time I ever heard Anthony Robbins say that the more money you make, the more people you help. And, when we're growing up, I came to this country as a 10-year-old from Greece with my family. We didn't have much, but we had a lot of love, and a lot of tenderness actually in our family. Um, but the relationship with money growing up, I remember exactly what you're talking about. My mom and dad looking at their checkbook at the kitchen table and just scrambling to make ends meet and to raise my brother and I. And money was always so tight. I remember the stress that you're talking about, your mom, I've experienced that firsthand. Like seeing the worry in my mom's face or my dad being kind of like upset about it and trying to make ends meet, which wasn't easy, believe me. So the relationship with money, it was when Anthony Robbins said, the more money you make, the more people you can help, a light bulb went on. So it's exactly what you're talking about. Help a lot of people, but you have to have that as well. So true.
Yeah, money allows you to shop. And if you shop for the right things, for the right reasons, like helping people for the right reasons, then money will buy you happiness. If you shop for the wrong things for the wrong reasons, it will bring you an amplified dis-ease compared to the ease that money can create. This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Therapy is a great tool for facing your fears and finding ways to overcome them, because sometimes the scariest thing is not facing our fears in the first place and holding ourselves back. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Overcome your fears with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/playbook today to get a 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/playbook. Imagine starting a small business, your first customer, first hire, first real paycheck. But everything isn't just exciting, it's scary. That's where JustWorks come in, the all-in-one platform that supports small business growth. Access seamless tools that help with benefits, payroll, HR, and compliance with transparent pricing. It's time to make payroll painless, run payroll in 90 seconds or less, and automate payments so you can set it and forget it. Did you know in 2023 alone, they processed over 25.6 billion in trusted payroll customers? Don't worry about the paperwork piling up either. They take care of payroll tax documents and reporting to help you stay compliant. Visit justworks.com/podcast to join the thousands of small businesses that trust JustWorks to take care of payroll, benefits, compliance, and more. That's justworks.com/podcast.
David, that number 1 billion people, that's the other thing that I got from you. It's like, man, I really want to talk to this man. That is a lofty goal, I might add. Tell me about that vision that you have to help to empower over 1 billion people to find happiness, because that obviously resonates with me. That's happiness been part and parcel of my whole life, actually. How, first of all, what is it? What's your plan and how we can help?
Oh, perfect. Thank you for asking. For me, and I want to stress, you said over a billion, because I never want to limit myself. I want to let other people know that you will never overachieve your own self-image. So what we do, what
Okay, say
we
that again. That's
say, what
powerful. We got to repeat that. Say that again slowly.
you will never overachieve your own self-image.
Mm.
And it is what we do, what we say, what we think, what we feel, and what we believe about ourselves that will align with where we want to be or better. And so for me, my mission of over a billion people, I'm not going to limit myself to a billion, but the way that I'm going to get there is I'm going to empower 1,000 people like you and many others who I know in your lifetime have a capability of empowering 1,000 other people
For
to
sure.
empower another 1,000 people. And so uh, I know my calling is to empower 1,000 people like you to empower the thousand, 1,000 times 1,000's a million times 1,000's a billion. And I
Mhm.
know one particle of light can overcome a million particles of darkness. And if I can liberate you to have more particles of light, to liberate others to have more particles of light, that we can change the world together in divine time. And that collective consciousness of happiness is one that I think is much needed today. Too many people live in this energy gap between I am and this is what I want people to think I am. So I teach people I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am worthy. What am I doing to interfere with it? You don't have to go get it. Stop trying to get what's missing, what you don't have, what other people want for you. It already exists. You already are and believe in something bigger than you that loves you more than your mom. So stay protected, promoted, and loved by the omniscient, all powerful, infinite system, unified together in abundance.
How do you get people to believe that? I believe that and I believe that and it comes natural too. I don't have to try to believe that. That's been part of my life. But how do you get people who doubt themselves, who have grown up, with a very powerful inner critic? So when you say that, it sounds great in theory, but in practice, how do you get people to actually also begin to internalize what you and I are talking about?
Practice. I come from a sports background, as you know, and I know that the commitment to consistent behaviors aligned with where you want to be or better in your life, that's called good behavior and it creates good progress. The only outcomes that occur in life only require one judgment. Is it good behavior aligned with where I want to be, or is it bad behavior interfering with where I want to be? And so I don't look at the outcomes, I look at the progress, I look at my behaviors. And
Mhm.
what we're committed to consistently will create 90% of the progress. The variant behavior is enjoyable, but it only results in about 10% of our progress. And so I try to teach people to practice having non negotiables like our sleep, like health behaviors, good financial behaviors, family behaviors, mindset behaviors, faith behaviors. And so I help people and provide them my book for free. I send it, sign it, which, by the way, I'd love for your entire community. Anyone around the world would like my book, just email me. I'll sign it, send it to you. I'll pay for shipping in the US. I'll email an ebook or audiobook outside. David at dmeltzer.com is a good start to learn the practices to get you to where you want to be or better.
One of the things that I love that you use the word non-negotiable, because I use that word when it comes to self-care. To me, after suffering a burnout about 20 years ago that almost ended my life when I was a clinical psychologist in full practice, working like a maniac and so on, it was a great lesson. And when I came out of that, now I'm chronologically 20 years older than I was then, and I'm healthier physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. No joke. But because self-care is a non-negotiable. And people have, and to me, obviously, that's the first path to happiness is like how well we take care of ourselves, right? And some people have pushed back. They're like, "Well, Elia, isn't self-care selfish?" I'm like, "Yes, and do more, double it." So some things are not,
Exactly.
some things are not negotiable. You're totally right. And the other thing that I love about what you said is that, listen, in life, it doesn't matter what we know. What matters, what do we do with what we know? And are we doing it consistently? If you're listening to what David says, there's certain micro habits, atomic habits, whatever you want to call them. If we do them on a consistent basis, David and I guarantee you will find happiness in this lifetime. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed, no greater words are spoken. And I think one of the themes of this interview, as you know, relates back to a story of my wife. When my wife saved my life and set me with my mom, my dad, and my best friend into a trajectory of a better behavior, surrounding myself with the right people and the right ideas,
Exactly.
not believing the people who were bleeding me. But when I made everything back, I asked my wife, you, out of gratitude, what do you want? Anything in the world. You saved my life. Look at the life we lead today. But for you, I would be dead or
Mhm.
in alone. And she said to me, there's only one thing I want. I said, anything. What do you want? She said, you need to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you will not be able to achieve your goals. You won't be able to take care of others. And I know right now you're so concerned about taking care of everyone else. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually. And for me, over the last 12 years, since my wife has given me permission to take care of myself and financially, I myself am younger than I was even 20 years ago in the
Exactly.
mindset, heart set, and handset. And I know many other people who take care of themselves as well. My non negotiables to start a minimum of 7 hours a day of sleep with a sleep coach to make sure, because I travel still 200 days a year. So I have a
Wow.
sleep coach, and then a minimum of an hour a day on my health. Non-negotiable. That means no
Non-negotiable.
matter what the circumstances of the day, that's first. Then I'll help my kids with their homework. Family comes next, after my sleep, after my health.
David, you use a word that's so dear to me, heart set. So, everybody talks about having a winning mindset, and of course, mindset is important. But I'm with you, and heart set to me is the key. If you live your life in alignment with your heart's desires, and you live and you lean into your purpose, and you are so clear. I think you and I are so clear about what the purpose is, of this life, which is to leave this world better than we found it, to whatever degree that we can, right? A billion plus. I'm joining your movement, by the way. I say it publicly here so I can be held accountable if I don't. I'm all in. That's why I wanted to ask you. I needed to understand what that was. Um, our time is up, my friend. It's been such a pleasure. Any parting thoughts, like three pearls of wisdom,
Sure.
like boom, 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 for our audience to live a happier, healthier, productive, and more connected life? What would they be?
Number one, number one, be more interested than interesting. Let's learn to appreciate our differences. You are one in almost 8 billion. You are so unique, created by God. You are born in an omniscient, all powerful being. Stop interfering with it. Be more interested than interesting. Two,
Okay.
be kind. Be kind to your future self. And three, do good deeds. There's nothing greater, more powerful than kindness in action. It's one people when people are kind, it's another when you put it into action. And by giving and doing good deeds, the world will change. So please utilize those three lessons. Reach out to me, David at dmeltzer.com. Be part of our neighborhood of people who want to help each other and know people that can help each other. We can change the world one person at a time. Thank you, doctor. I appreciate you. And I will tell you, I studied admiralty law in Greece. So I've been all over. My honeymoon was in Greece,
Oh,
one
no
of my
way.
favorite places in the world. Most people, when I'm in Greece, they think I'm Greek, and I try to pretend like I understand them, but there's no differences. Your heart and my heart are connected. You're doing beautiful work. Thank you so much for your platform.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you on the show. I just want to say one last thing about kindness. To me, kindness is love in action. That's it. Love in action. And really,
That's
with kindness, everybody wins. The giver, the receiver, collectively, both. And then obviously the people that are watching and witnessing this, that are inspired then to perform acts of kindness and acts of love. And I'm not talking about random acts of kindness. I'm talking about mindful, conscious, deliberate, loving acts of service. That's it, my friend. Thank you so much. And I'm here to help. I'm on board. We'll talk offline. So thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to it. Have
You
a
too.
blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, David.